I think I was terrified of cutting a hole in my roof.
Okay. Let's go have some fun.
Good morning. I'm in Evergreen in Colorado at the Buffalo Overlook, and I'm going to go walk around here, do some walking, preparing for the Camino. But first, I want to answer some questions from my last video about the new ceiling fan that I just installed. Up here is the new ceiling fan that I installed yesterday with James, and I couldn't have done it without James. I realize now that it wasn't just the ladder that was keeping me from doing the fan install. I think I was terrified of cutting a hole in my roof. And as I look at some of the other videos of people that have done this, it's a little terrifying to cut a hole that big. And I think I had that same fear. And I also had the fear that if I did cut it, say in the middle of the Home Depot parking lot or Walmart parking lot, that maybe I would be stuck with a hole and something would go wrong. And it's a good thing I had James around, because that's exactly what happened. Was we had two problems. The blade kept falling out of the DeWalt cordless saber saw that I own. It just wouldn't stick in there. Yes, I have the correct blade, and here in a second I'll show you what was going on with that. But the second thing was that butyl tape was just completely melted, and as I look back, there's like a temperature range that you're supposed to use that in. We were almost at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so that was way over the temperature that you're supposed to be using the tape at, which is why it was completely melted, as well as sitting in my step van for that much time and hot, cold like that. If I wouldn't have had James around, I probably wouldn't have had a solution. I would have had all those holes drilled and part of one section cut out, and I would have been completely stuck. So it was a good thing I had James around, and I'm happy that I waited. So here's the DeWalt blades that I purchased, and I took my actual saber saw into Lowe's or Home Depot, I don't remember where I bought this, and showed it to the guy, and we made sure that we had the correct blades to fit into it, and he looked it up. So I know I've got the right blades, and they do slide in here. This is the DW933. So this is the saber saw that I purchased. I got this off of Craigslist. You could see that in a previous episode. I paid like $30 for it. So basically, you slide the little blade into this spot here, and the release is this little cap here on the top. You're supposed to pull it out, and then it spins around. So you can see here there's a little diagram on it for lock and unlock. So you're supposed to pull this out like so, and then spin it around, and then it's supposed to unlock. So one direction is locking and one direction is unlocking. So I thought I had this sliding all the way in here, like you can see now. I'll pull the blade out and put the blade back in, and I thought I had it all the way in because it slid that far, but I think it's supposed to go past this nub just a little bit on there. Right now you can see how far it's installed. So that's where I had it yesterday when I was doing the install, and then I would switch this back and tighten it the other direction, thinking that it's tightened up. Alright, so I spin this until it felt tight. Now it's getting tight. There, that feels about as tight as it can go, and then I pop it down. So I think that this is tight. So if you own one of these, let me know if that is far enough in for the blade. And I tightened this until it felt like it wouldn't go anymore, and this should be good. The battery is out right now, but that's the way it was. It feels firm in here, it's not pulling out. Anyway, that's what was going on with the blade and the saw, and why we switched to the corded unit. I actually used my blade in his saber saw, and it worked perfectly. So that was a good solution. I'll give you a demo of the fan. Basically, this is the one without the remotes as a knob right here. You turn the knob, and it opens it up pretty easy. There's some controls here. There's a temperature control. and an automatic thermostat, which is what I've been using it at. And you can change direction too, so 10 speeds up and down, an automatic mode with the thermostat and a direction. So I can turn it on. There it goes. It's going. It's spinning. It's pretty quiet. You can go slower all the way down or go faster. I can change the direction and I can change it to auto. Auto has a green light that pops on, and it's supposed to keep it at 78 degrees by default, and I think by holding it down, I need to read the instructions on this, but I think if you hold it for a few seconds it lowers the temperature with a bleep. So I think that's how it works. But anyway, it's pretty fabulous. I like it. I think once I have the second fan put in the back, that it will be able to circulate the air even better, because I'll have one in the back, one in the front, and I can pull air from this little vent that's by my knees as I'm driving. I'll show you that. So step fans have these vents on the sides that open up, and there's a lever inside that I can use to open and close this, and I can open it forward like this to scoop the air, or open it the other direction if I want to pull air from the other way. But what's nice about this is it's a low point in the very front corner of the step fan, so that I could run both fans going outward direction and sucking air from here and blowing it out through the roof. So that's another nice thing that I want to check out once I get both fans installed. For those of you just joining the channel, I'm trying to walk for 3 or 4 times a week, preferably 4 times a week, for over an hour in preparation for the Camino de Santiago. It's this pilgrimage walk, and I'll link a little thing above. Tell you a little bit about it in a previous episode. Anyway, today's walk, I'm going to go out to the Buffalo Overlook. The next exit down from Evergreen is Chief Hosa exit, and right off of that is a buffalo overlook where you can see a herd of buffalo here in Colorado. So this park here is a new construction. I think they just completed it probably just a few months ago, and probably this is the first summer that it's been open. All of the pavement here looks completely new. Concrete, the sidewalks, all the signs, the fences are absolutely pristine, and they have all these informational plaques here talking about the buffalo. So today's walk, I'm going to walk for 30-40 minutes this direction to where the buffalo may or may not be this morning. Standing on a bridge, and underneath this bridge is a tunnel that goes underneath the freeway so that the buffalo can cross from one side to the other. So the path I've been walking on is behind me here. You can see it goes right next to the freeway. And normally you'll see the buffalo up over here in this area, all the way up to the tree line over there. And you'll see them in the mornings till maybe 9 or 10 o'clock. And then they will walk down across here and through this tunnel below this bridge that I'm on, and into this area over here where the park is, and the parking lot where I park the step van. I don't see any buffalo this morning, so I guess I struck out on that, but it's still fun to come up here and check it out. I'm going to walk back to the parking lot and see if maybe someone there at the parking lot will tell me if they've saw buffalo on the other side. Well, no buffalo, but it was fun getting to walk and getting out and seeing some more Colorado. When I take off, go get some lunch. Today's project is to try to put in some furring strips against the wall here. These are actually going to be, I don't know if they're called furring strips or not, but anyway, they're little pieces of wood to create standoffs so that I can put the insulation in and then put some horizontal slats going along the edges here. This is a plan that Giuseppe helped me come up with. Actually, it's his idea completely, and I'm trying to implement it. So because I don't have aluminum support ribs in this corner here or in the other back corner of the step van, I'm adding some 1x2s in the corner here. But the problem is that I want to attach these by running a screw from the outside of the skin through the wall and into the board here. This is just not working because every time I try to screw it from the outside, the board will pop off because there's nothing holding it on this end. And I don't know any way to clamp it to the wall because I have no idea how to do this. So the only thing I can think of that requires a second person. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Up here you can see this is the screw that I put in the side. Well, I don't know how I did it, but somehow I managed to get this screw here to go through and bite into the wood, and it managed to tighten up and snug up the wood against the aluminum trim. So that went well, and once that was secure, I managed to line up the bottom and the top, and I put 2 more screws in, one on the top up there and one down here. So I've got it secured, that furring strip, in 3 points. I'm not sure if this is going to work out, so I thought I would just film this and maybe post the video and get some feedback from Giuseppe and a couple other people. My denim insulation is arriving in 2 days, so I was hoping to get all this done and the structure in place, then run the denim insulation behind it, tucking it in, and then I can start on putting the lower 40 inches in using the aluminum paneling that I removed from the ceiling. I'm going to attach to the lower 40 inches of the walls. Guess what? It is raining, and I get to test out the new Max fan and see if my seal is actually working. I should mention that I only put in the butyl tape around the edges. I plan on going back and adding some self-leveling sealant stuff that I bought at Camping World. It's been raining for about 15 minutes and it's looking good so far. Here it is, looking good, no leaks anywhere, completely dry. I'm pretty happy with that, pretty stoked. That's all I have for this episode. Thank you for watching. Savor the moment. See you next episode.